Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. I'm SocietySucks and today I'm checking out animals that not even AI could come up with by Casual Geographic. Yeah, there's plenty of animals that look like they're something made up by AI, but they're actually real. So let's see just how crazy these animals get.
Oh my god, what is that? Oh
Is that
my
a
god! What
Oh
is
no!
that?
I thought that was a monkey from a distance, that's what it looked like.
This is what happens when
Whoa! Whoa, 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 what the hell?
This is what
What the heck was that?
happens when you try to make a sequel without paying respect to the source material. Nature clearly tried to recreate the biological box office hit that was a giraffe but on a budget. The result is an animal that 100% spawned a cryptid myth or six. If the tall one's a giraffe, then this is a rough draft. We don't talk about Geographic enough, and we really should, because explaining this animal to the wrong people in the wrong times would have been cost to have you.
It looks like a.
And you know they're not AI, because Geographics can go their
skin
entire
changer,
lives
skin
without drinking
walker?
water. Well, technically anybody can, but getting moisture from leaves and shoots means Geographics can live a full life without ever sipping water. Allen Iverson could never. You know what huskies look like after getting shaved? Well, Geographics look like an alpaca with alopecia, while also looking like a kangaroo doing a handstand. Go ahead, pause the video and squint, you'll see it eventually. But the Geographic is doing a handstand.
Okay, we'll
Go ahead,
see.
pause the video and squint, you'll
Yeah, you know what? I do see it. I do see it.
see it eventually. But the Geographic is a gazelle, with its closest relative likely being the one you think of when you hear the word gazelle. Geographics are built different, literally structured abnormally. If you didn't know any better, you'd assume you saw something that rhymes with wind soccer. And the pose makes me think they inspired the freak deer that folded Finn from Adventure Time. But of course, the most uncanny feature is that pinhead. Nature had to give them
Honestly, the front legs they look malnourished in my opinion. It's like you can see it's like it's just skin and bones.
from Adventure Time. But of course, the most uncanny feature is that pinhead. Nature had to give them buns of steel and iron quads just to act as a counterbalance. Why they didn't just give them a normal head? Well, that is beyond our comprehension. It is nice to know an animal built like a Wendigo still has decorum. I defy you to tell me this isn't a male Geographic holding down a branch for his girl. Ain't nothing artificial about this intelligence, some stuff is just universal. There's really nothing like a Geographic, but there's a distant relative of theirs that's arguably more mythical. The Saiga looks like Narnia in the face, and that's saying something because I never watched Narnia. But it feels right. The Saiga is an yo, editor, can we, better. The Saiga is an unusual.
No, come on.
Yo, editor, can we better. The Saiga is an unusual and underrated.
It doesn't look like
They used to populate
it
the
doesn't.
steppe in millions. That's actually why they have the NSFW nose. You see, that double barrel nostril situation was an adaptation to filter out dust kicked up by the massive herd. The same nose also cools the blood in the summer and warms up air in the winter before it gets to the lungs. It's a multi-purpose proboscis that makes them Antelope Alf, while also
It
serving
does
as a
look
built-in
like
mask.
Alf.
Yet that mask couldn't save the Saiga from its own pandemic, because in 2015 there was a mass outbreak of a bacteria that caused blood poisoning in the infected and killed 200,000 and erased 2/3 of the global population. But the Star Wars Extra has made a
Damn.
comeback, with their numbers rebounding from less than 40,000 in 2005 to today over 4 million, with Kazakhstan ecologists
wow.
estimating that they'll hit over 5 million by 2030. Thank the powers that play for that, because just imagine showing somebody this picture of an extinct animal and being like, yeah, this was taken all the way back in 2015. So if you needed to hear good
That's
news,
only
you'll be happy
11
to know
years
the
ago.
Saiga is looking like it's here to stay. You might be less happy about this though.
Oh, grasshoppers.
I've seen some adorable looking grasshoppers in my day. A smiling bugs-like paralysis demon is not one of them. To be fair,
mean-
it's not a grasshopper, it's a katydid. Same insect
Oh.
order, different insects, and I hear they get real offended when you confuse them. This katydid belongs to the Copophora genus. A genus that looks like a sick joke, with members perpetually mocking you for it. There's not a single situation where a bug needs to look like this. And maybe
I mean, it
it's
doesn't
partly
look
my
that
fault, 'cause
bad.
I can't look at this and not see two brick yellow teeth giving me the world's most devious smile. He's built like a Courage the Cowardly Dog plot device, freaky Fred looking. That smile should
The music that's playing is the same music that Ants Canada always used in his videos.
get you put on a list.
I knew I
And the thing is,
recognized
they're
that.
not just an assault on your site. Giant katydids have the distinction of being one of the loudest insects on Earth.
Jesus.
You know, I don't know everything, so I wasn't sure if that audio was edited or not. But after listening to other clips, I've come to the conclusion that, yes, this bug can, in fact, send a war veteran back to Vietnam with a touch.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it kind of sounds like a gun.
Stridulation, and it's not just an alarm clock for PTSD. Some katydids sound exactly like chirping birds. And just like birds, the call is mostly for attracting mates, and some male katydids will form boy band groups to sing together to help each other keep the rhythm, which is apparently a major turn on. And if you think the bugs show respect to the original IP, 1, katydids came first, so the birds sing like them, and 2, some katydids eat birds, so yeah, katydids let their nuts hang. Literally, because fun fact, cover your ears kids, but the largest testicles on the planet belong to these bush crickets. You don't have to believe me, you can Google it, and then you can explain your search history. Just know, there's not a single computer that would lead to this. And that's the thing with AI. Nature's weird enough without people making stuff up. And this is the most AI-looking animal I've ever seen. Goats in general don't seem to be real. Like, they're constantly testing what they can get away with.
Oh yeah, I've seen goats climbing. Yeah.
The Markhor genuinely looks...
I've seen the way goats climb mountains sometimes. Like, that is just insane. The fact that they're able to climb like that, crazy.
Mythical, with a reputation that actually precedes them. Their name translates to snake eater because of their habit of curb-stopping serpents and, predictably, eating them. At least according to folklore, and locals would collect the chewed cud of these goats, believing they could use it as snake anti-venom. Also, the national animal of Pakistan is a lot bigger than you think, with males often getting to over 200 pounds. Which is pretty big for an animal you've probably never seen.
I mean, those horns.
And if you have, and this Gandalf goat looks familiar, they were actually Thor's emotional support in Love and Thunder. The Markhor is a beautifully majestic specimen. Which is funny because if we were ducks, I'd literally have to censor that. Male Markhors use those iconic horns to battle cliffside for females. That and they were created the day nature's ice cream machine came in. Whether it's them allegedly...
yeah, those horns, they don't exist just to look nice. They're there for a reason.
Landscaping the snake population, their cinematic fights to the death, or just Markhor parkour, you gotta admit, this goat has more ore than anything an algorithm could come up with. Now this goat. Holy freaks. Now, I think every animal's be with. Now this goat.
Okay, that's the eye. It looks like it's looking up. This... I don't know. I think that's supposed to be the ear. This is the mouth, and I guess that hole is the nose. Jesus Christ, this looks like an abomination.
Holy freaks. Now, I think every animal's beautiful in its own way, but that starts to change once people start playing God. And boy, did we play God with this goat.
So this was made...
them just like we did the powder pigeon. We fully pugged a goat, and we're like this goat. We ruined them.
What in God's name is that thing? Why? Why?
Just like we did the powder pigeon. We fully pugged a goat, and weirdly enough, Damascus goats look almost normal as kids, only to get Pearl Harbored by puberty. They say for every ugly mug, there's at least one who'll defend it, so I'm still waiting for someone to defend the animal, literally built as Cusco's karma. This is the one time I wish it were AI, because they look like their existence is constant pain.
Yeah.
That is not the skull of an animal that should have been afforded life. That, and this is now the third case of unnecessary censorship. Looking like Rocky Dennis's persona is even funnier when you realize a Damascus won a beauty pageant for goats, with Gar being named Most Beautiful Goat in 2008. And
You're kidding me.
Those are the pictures PR went with. And I'm sure the goats are
You're
nice
kidding
people,
me.
and they didn't ask for this, but that's what human hubris does. It turns goats into Dark Crystal characters. That's a lot of effort just to get one up by nature.
No. If you've seen the Dark Crystal, Jesus. You know what? I can see why that goat won Best Looking Goat Award. I mean, take a look at fashion and other things which people call the best looking. Yeah, best looking isn't exactly the best looking. It just looks terrible.
Like
these days.
Not only is this real, but this cat and that shark have something in this. Not only is this real, but this cat and that shark have something in common. I see you all have questions, and I'm gonna get to them, starting with the biggest one. Why do you know the things that you know? You should have been asking yourself that after I brought up bush cricket cojones. People ask me how I know so much about animals and even why I'm so into them in the first place, and I don't know, but the answer is likely undiagnosed and very undermedicated. It's really nothing for me to spend hours, even days, going down the rabbit hole of my fixation of the week. It's when it's time to sit down and make the video and retrace the rabbit hole. Yeah, I waste a lot of time that way. That's why I feel pretty good about today's sponsor, Opera. Don't touch the mouse. Now see, that's actually the problem. We're in an attention recession. Luckily, Opera can help with that. Opera's a web browser with features
I already use Opera.
wish I had around in college. Features like Tab Islands. Tab Islands lets you group your tabs by theme or project. And if you're one of those coordinate the colors of your folders based on the class students, you'll appreciate Tab Islands letting you do the same. By the way, we can agree, math is red, science is green, and English is blue, right? Right? But my favorite is tab traces.
Yeah, I don't know.
We've all been there, sitting in front of a screen with 20, 30, I think my career high is like 46 tabs open at once. And when I'm
I think the most tabs I've had open at once was over 100. I think it was around 130. Yeah, don't worry, it's not that bad anymore. Look at this. It's not bad at all. There's not many. I'm a changed man, okay? I've went from having 130 tabs open a couple of years ago to only having up to 20. I've changed.
Tracing my internet steps, tab traces are like breadcrumbs because the darker the underscore of a tab, the more recently you visited that tab. That feature has saved me hours. There's also split screen where you can have 4 tabs visible at once. I usually just do 2, but if you can make 4 work, all power to you. But 4 is good for
no,
there's a breaking story
too
and I want
much.
to cross-reference multiple articles. Now, music's important to me because often while I'm researching and especially writing, I'm listening to the exact song I plan on playing.
One thing I like about Opera, I'm fucking adding to the sponsor. I don't know if you can do this on other tabs, but you see this option here? I can take the screen, make it however big I want, and I can put it literally anywhere. I don't know if this is an option that YouTube has, or if this is an option that Opera has, because I haven't used any other browsers in a very long time. But yeah, I like this because I can just put it on a different screen, so I can still have the video playing and watch it while I'm doing something else. Jesus Christ, I should be getting paid for this.
Playing in that video, and with the player feature, you can detach the music and float it around to control it without clicking back and forth and speed bumping your workflow. So whether you're a student, creator, or just chronically online, there's at least something for you on this browser.
There's a lot of people like that.
If you want to see for yourself. Shout out to Opera for sponsoring this video, but more so, shout out to Opera for sponsoring my recreational rabbit hole habit, because this was one hell of a rabbit hole to go down. You are looking at a rare albino cyclops found inside the stomach of a pregnant dusky shark. He looks like a petrified Agent Plecky from Lilo and Stitch. Actually, no, he looks like one of those disgustingly hyper-realistic frames from SpongeBob. You know exactly what I'm talking about. This deformed fetus is a result of one of the freakiest defects in nature. Damn it. Holoprosencephaly is a rare condition where the brain of a developing embryo fails to separate into 2 distinct halves, instead forming one mass. Obviously, this causes a laundry list of problems, and psychoplia means one eye gets stuck right in the middle. It's the same condition afflicting this kitten. Unfortunately, this condition has been described as being incompatible with life, which is a really dramatic way of saying you're basically born in past tense. But the weirdest part is HPE is caused by a mutation in the Sonic the Hedgehog gene. Don't laugh, I'm serious. In the early stages, it's this gene and the Sonic the Hedgehog protein that separates the eye field into 2 separate eyes. And maybe that's why the Speed Freak has 1 eye with 2 pupils. Oh god, I'm sorry, take it back. Well, also humans can get holoprosencephaly too. I'm just not putting those pictures anywhere near this video. But yeah, the shark's real, but incredibly rare.
Humans can get this too?
Not like this though.
Oh hell no.
This is platypus levels of nonsense.
Oh yeah, I've seen this thing.
The star-nosed mole is proof that people will let nature get away with anything so long as it's small enough and so long as it spends most of its natural life.
That kind of looks like the head of one of those creatures from what was the movie called? The Quiet Place, I think. The freaky ones that like open up their heads when there's a weird sound frequency. I don't know. It just makes me think of that. Also, the one from Stranger Things season 1, I think it was the Demogorgon or something like that.
Life underground. The mole looks like it sneezed while constipated and prolapsed from the other end, and those 22 facial flesh fingers or tendrils are freakishly sensitive. Where your hand has 17,000 touch receptors, Starfish Face has 100,000 on its nose, making it the most sensitive touch organ in the animal kingdom. It's so sensitive, Cthulhu's pet can decide whether or not something's food in 8 milliseconds and actually eat it in as little as 120, meaning it's a Lovecraftian mole that eats faster than any other animal on Earth while essentially maxing out on reaction time. And since most moles eat their weight in food a day, star noses are in a constant state of binging. This mole would genuinely end all life on Earth, if only it weren't 1/8 of a pound. Not only because they would eat entire ecosystems into collapse, because there'd be no way of escaping them. Not only are they speed-eating earthbenders with the internal discernment of a vacuum, they can swim and breathe underwater. Okay, not really, but they can smell underwater, and they do it by blowing air bubbles to trap molecules that mix with the air inside before inhaling the bubble and, by extension, the trapped molecules.
That's
This
really
means
cool,
a diving
actually.
mole can sniff out prey while underwater, and even aim air bubbles at a specific target. And did I mention they do this blind? But somehow there's more, because this creature can smell in stereo. The same way you would compare differences in sound between the left and right ear to pinpoint the source, moles can do with their nostrils. Star moles are just a bunch of randomly broken skills and powers packed into a fresh flower-faced fur termite. And if you can't say that 5 times fast, you better like this video. But you've definitely heard of star-nosed moles before. As a palate cleanser, there you go. The cutest animal you've never seen. Because if I saw it, I wouldn't just think it was AI. I think it was bad animal you've never seen. Because if I saw it, I wouldn't just think it was AI.
I thought that was a snake at first.
I think it was bad Photoshop. How else does one explain a panda, leopard, meerkat ferret? Well, the way
it slithered on the ground looked like a snake.
Is a mustelid, not unlike honey badgers, otters, and wolverines, albeit a little smaller. They're not even the only type of polecat, but they are the one that looks the most like animated taxidermy. They're the only ones that dress like a mother of 4 in divorce court. Marbled polecats stand out, and that might be the point. It's believed a defensive polecat will aggressively flash their colors as a warning. Not that they're venomous, but their attitude is. That, and polecats will take a page out of their skunk cousin's playbook and crop dust a threat with foul-smelling anal secretions that reek of the dead. Also, polecats might be more of a stereotype than honey badgers, as they're hyper-aggressive and regularly attack animals many times their size. This is a badgers, as they're hyper-aggressive and regularly attack animals many times their size. This is the same calico ferret that made Ukrainian soldiers evacuate from a bunker.
Wait a minute.
Times their size.
I've seen that video.
Calico ferret that made Ukrainian soldiers
yeah, I've seen that video before. So that's the animal which it was, okay. You don't.
Так понятно, що він зараз працює. Ох, блядь, диви, він хоче напасти.
He's a feisty one.
You know how insane you have to be to bite the ground out of frustration? Someone tells Zigzagoon it ain't that serious? Well,
it does look like a Zigzagoon.
It actually might be. And on the topic of smell, last but not least...
That's big.
Alright, so, not AI, but either that is a cartoonishly tiny
I've seen this thing before, I think.
are a lot bigger than I thought they were. This mammal casserole is also called a bear cat, but in truth, they're not either. They're in suborder Feliformia, meaning they belong to the cat half of order Carnivora. And in Feliformia, binturongs are in the section that is the least talked about. In fact, I could make a part 2 based on vivarids. Not a vivid ferret, you got your turn. Vivarids also include civids, like the one whose poop goes in coffee, and genids, which are cats nature drew left-handed. And it's the binturong that is the biggest vivarid, and with some females weighing nearly 80 pounds, they are, in fact, way bigger than I thought they were.
What, like 40 kilograms?
I was not expecting a sloth bear from the back. So not a bear or a cat, but this black sentient bath mat can climb, and they have a prehensile tail to help them do it. Which is why you'll probably smell them before you see them. It's true, a binturong bathroom break smells identical to hot buttered popcorn. A smell they use as a warning to rivals, but also as an invitation to the amorous. So if you're in the jungle and randomly smell a movie theater, you might be in the presence of a bear cat. Or death. Since, yeah, tiger urine also gives fresh butter. In fact, that's probably why the Binsies evolved to smell like that. Wait, that's not... Wait, no, can someone fact check me on that? I just made that up, but it sounds real. Is that the reason why? Despite being built like a Mandela effect and half the population swearing they didn't exist a couple years ago, bearcats are part of the most primitive group of feliforms, meaning they're closer to being beta cats, despite them looking like nature hasn't unlocked them yet. I can make that joke. I've earned it. Just a chuckling, tree-climbing Frito warrior. They also smell like Fritos. Raccoon, monkey, lemur, bear hybrid that can procrastinate and postpone pregnancy until the outsides are favorable. Also, the babies are called binlets, and I like that. And that's gonna do it for this video. I definitely left some animals off, so if this gets... I'm greedy.
Oh, there's plenty
likes,
of
I'll do a part
much
2,
weirder
then,
animals.
Water, hug your mother. Remember, reality will always mock fiction, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.
The small ones look really cute. I mean, look at that face. It's adorable. I mean, these animals were definitely a bit weird, but I've seen far weirder before. Yeah, I don't have anything more to say here. I think I said everything I wanted to during the video, so I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. If you want to see more reactions, check out this video right here. And with that, I hope I'll see you in the next video.